we're getting some exclusive information now. NDTV has been able to access a note being discussed at the all-party meeting that is underway. Barkha Dutt now joins us for the very latest. Barkha, just take us through some of the details that we've been able to access from this all-party meet.
Well, Bhairavi, what's happening is that the all-party delegation that had traveled to Jammu and Kashmir is, of course, meeting again for a follow-up meeting to try and decide what the course of action should be proceeding ahead. And what we can share with you are exclusive details of talking points at this meeting, even as it is taking place. Based on the different inputs provided by different parties, and remember 26 politicians did go, we have actually accessed the summary report that has been prepared by the Home Ministry that is being circulated at the all-party delegation for further discussion. I'll take you through some of the key points. This is an exclusive that we have accessed. It's not clear, we should give a health warning, which of these will actually be accepted by the government as the method to proceed on or as the basis to proceed on. These are a summary of different views of different parties. Now, some of the leaders have argued that the government of Jammu and Kashmir has failed to deal with the situation. They've gone on to talk about corruption in the government. They've gone on to say that state leaders in the government had made what they call misleading statements. Others have disagreed with this view. They've actually spoken about how the focus should be on what they call isolating separatists. They've spoken about the role of Pakistan. They've said that the daily protests are actually a calendar that are prepared by Pakistan, and Pakistan is hiding behind the separatists and the protesters. There are politicians who have called for compensation to all those who have been killed, the families of all those who have been killed in the civilian unrest. Also, they have called for the fixing of punishment where excess use of force has been used. This report goes on amid its talking points to even talk about how there is a problem of radicalism, how the media needs to be engaged. And in some ways, according to me, when I'm looking at the summary report, it actually exposes and lays bare the fault lines within the absence of political consensus. Because on the one hand, you have people calling for the separatists to be isolated and to be treated separately. We're already hearing reports about how this government wants to withdraw security and travel documents and other privileges and perks that the separatists have long got as a strategy of the intelligence community. On the other hand, you actually have political groups who are saying, no, you have to do dialogue, not just with the separatists, but also with Pakistan. So, there is, I think that the summary report that is being prepared by the MHA based on the inputs of 26 different politicians lays bare the absence of national consensus. And again, I say that these are talking points. This is a summary report that we're accessing of different views, and it is not yet clear which of these views will become the basis for what the government at the center finally decides to do.
Right, Barkha, and it's interesting that you say, and that the note, of course, says that, separatists should now be isolated and dealt with separately, because the thought ahead of that all-party delegation that went to Jammu and Kashmir was that many members and felt that there was a need to reach out to the separatists. They've clearly learned their lesson from that snub, and this note being circulated now has a different point of view.
Well, when we go through this note, and it's a long summary, we've only shared a few points at this moment. We actually have accessed the different talking points that are up for discussion right now. As I said, one of the challenges is that although the all-party delegation was to present a united sort of approach to the problem of Jammu and Kashmir, there is no political unity on what the approach should be at all, which is why the summary report ranges all the way from calling the Jammu and Kashmir government a failure to calling for the isolation of separatists, which is one set of views, to another point of view which actually says that both Pakistan and the separatists there should be a dialogue with. So to that extent, it is a collation of multiple views, and it has been prepared on the inputs of different politicians who have given these inputs. And therefore, what I'm waiting to see now is, based on the summary report, and given that the views expressed are so different, what will the central government, in fact, decide to do? Which part of these talking points will become its framework for policy going forward?
Barkha, as we've been pointing out, this is just a summary of the report, and of course, as you've said, that it is up to the centre and the government now to decide how much of this is accepted by the government. But there has been a shift from the side of the government as well. They have reached out to the opposition. They've had a second all-party meet after the delegation is returned. So there is keenness from the government to bring everybody on board as well.
Well, of course, the government would like to create a kind of political consensus and present whatever it says at the end of this meeting. They would like to say all parties agreed on it. But when I go through this note, I actually find no areas of cohesive agreement. That is the argument. That would be my analysis, Bhairavi. There is no agreement. It lurches all the way from differences over how to deal with separatists to whether the alliance government led by Mehbooba Mufti is being able to deal with the situation or not. So it's really going to be a challenge for the Home Ministry, for Rajnath Singh, who led this delegation, to be actually able to emerge from the summary report with a way forward that all parties are willing to back, given these differences.
Barkha, and it's been a fractured mandate for the BJP and the PDP in Jammu and Kashmir as well. They've been struggling with their own alliance issues. And so this really, is at the heart of the issue as well. The fact that Mehbooba Mufti and the BJP have had a strained relationship, and it's only going to get tougher with so many different points of view coming in.
Yes, exactly. And the point is there's already an ideological disparity between the PDP and the BJP, which you see reflected in their approach to the Hurriyat conference, where the Home Minister distanced himself from the letter of invite for talks that Mehbooba Mufti had sent to the Hurriyat. She, in fact, did that in her political capacity as PDP president and not as Jammu and Kashmir chief minister. So that in itself exposed a fault line. Now you have the all-party delegates actually arguing amongst themselves over how to deal with the separatists, over whether the alliance is working, over how Pakistan should be dealt with, over whether pellet guns should be completely banned or not. This summary report in so many ways exposes and lays bare the fault lines of the Kashmir debate and the reason why perhaps no cohesive policy can emerge, because there is an absence of national political consensus, and that's really my big takeaway from reading this report.
Barkha, thanks very much for joining us with the very latest. Barkha accessing that note, the summary note of that all-party meet after the delegation's visit to Jammu and Kashmir.